Well, Akon is what's popping. And
Akon.
Akon, yes, and he had some things to say about Chris Brown because this has been a conversation that has been going on for a very long time. I think the whole year where people are looking for the next legend or next superstar after Michael Jackson.
Stop looking. We had MJ. That's enough. That's it. Chapter closed. Books closed.
But this is what Akon had to say. This was his view on Chris Brown. Take a listen.
All right.
Give another perspective on that. In this day and age, the only person, in my opinion, that could have achieved just as great as a legacy as Mike, to me, would have been Chris Brown. I just believe that Chris Brown wasn't surrounded by the circle of creative people that Mike was surrounded by.
Wow.
Because Chris got the talent.
Wow.
He just needed the direction.
Right.
Right? So imagine if Chris had Mike's team.
Right.
Just imagine that. It would be something different.
And that's big,
But
Con.
Chris is like he got bloods around him. He got little gangbangers around him.
Right.
He don't have the guidance.
Right.
He's smart, but he's smart according to what this generation smart attracts.
Right.
Okay. For me to survive in this era, I got to keep certain things around me, certain people around me, just so I can keep getting it going.
Right.
But if he was able to delete all that and say, look, I'm going to focus on being the greatest entertainer ever, Chris has the opportunity.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow, quite an endorsement.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, so is it too late for Chris Brown to reach those heights? Because it sounds like Akon sounds like he's saying that there was potential, but it was squashed by his choices and the company he chose to keep.
Exactly. And also Chris Brown did claim that he does have affiliation to a street gang, that is the Bloods, and they do wear the red bandanas and all that and have the teardrops and you get what I mean. So basically Akon is saying with his affiliation to these people, he's always going to be a slave to that crew, and anything that he gets, he always has to give them their cut. That means he's never going to reach his potential. And this is the thing about being in a gang. If the leaders do not approve of you taking a certain step, then you're not going to take that step. So Chris Brown has that tie, and he's never going to basically achieve the greatness of Michael Jackson. That is what Akon is saying. And I do agree. And a lot of people have spoken on this regarding Chris Brown.
Okay, so where I would disagree is I do think that Michael Jackson was very much a product of his time and his era. I think, and he came to prominence around the time that there was a convergence emerging between television and music and the music videos. Because really what made him big, and I'm young enough to remember him sort of just exploding into this international megastar, and it was essentially the long-form music videos that he was making, which at the time were quite unique, you know, with the extensive group choreography. There weren't many music videos being made like that, and him being the first to like go big in that direction, made him quite famous and led to him selling tons and tons of records. But let's not forget that the success wasn't long-lasting. I mean, I would say up until Dangerous, I would say Dangerous is probably the furthest he went. From there onwards, he was kind of Michael Jackson, kind of the Dangerous album. And after that, I feel like his career and also his music sort of went downhill. So what happened then? Was he now not surrounded by the right guys? I would disagree. I think he had his time. He exploited it. And he reigned in all his glory as the king of pop. Chris Brown, though, I don't know. I'm wondering what Chris Brown could do different that would have made his career I don't know what he could have done to take his career in a different direction than it went.
I think better lifestyle choices would have made Chris Brown's career take a different
But in terms of
direction.
music, he would still have had to collaborate with the same producers that are making the same music, you know, the DJ Khaled's, DJ Mustard's, Kid Ink, and whoever else he's been working with.
But you need to understand that a big part of an artist's career or their success is how the fan base takes you, because there are many artists who just release trash music and are still loved and are going to trend and are going to, you know, hit the charts, you know, and make big money off streams and on all that stuff. I think it's all about relatability and how the fans perceive you. Let's double back to Michael Jackson. After his album Dangerous, that's when he started suffering problems, the rumors about him being a child molester. You understand? And when you are a child molester or have these accusations against you, that means the fans are going to start feeling a certain type of way because the fans are the ones who make you, right?
That's
The
true.
fans buy the music, the fans listen to the music, and you don't want your fans to have a bitter taste in their mouth
But also
for you, and it's going to affect yourself.
that's
how
true.
they
But
perceive
okay,
you.
perhaps it also affected his creative process because I think
Exactly, because
his
he was
music
stressed out.
his
Yes,
music
suffered.
also wasn't the best from like the mid 90s and onwards, I would say.
Exactly, because of these problems. How are you going to make great music when people are calling you a child molester?
I
and
would guess
pedophile?
it would be very hard to do, yeah.
Absolutely, you understand. And you
Okay, so if Chris Brown had stayed clear of these gang affiliations, you think he would have had the fortitude, mental fortitude, clarity of mind, peace of mind to just produce good music?
And I feel for Chris Brown, for me, he's like a continuation of Usher, where Usher stopped, Chris Brown picked up from there and carried it on really well until his scandal with Rihanna. After he beat her, and we have had stories of many artists beating up their wives, domestic violence disputes, but none of them have been as affected as Chris Brown. And I think the person after that was maybe Johnny Depp, and then now we know it was not Johnny Depp's problem.
Wait, are you
was not the
saying Rihanna
problem.
could have been another Amber Heard and we just didn't find out?
That's the thing.
Ha!
But we don't know.
Well,
You
if
understand?
ASAP ends up with black eyes, we'll know.
But you see, up until his time, after Rihanna, Chris Brown has struggled completely. His music is great, but the reception of the fans has always been lacking.
And then he got more and more and more and more tattoos. He looks
Exactly.
homeless for
Yeah,
someone
I
who
look
is
so.
exceedingly wealthy. It's crazy. But anyway, thanks so much, Sarah, for letting us know what's popping.